Welcome to Tea Time with
Welcome to Tea Time with Funky. This is super recent. Welcome to Tea Time with Funky. I missed you guys. I really did. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Tea Time with Bunky. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Once again, for all those that are new to Tea Time with Bunky, welcome. Enjoy the journey. Those that have been with Tea Time with Bunky from the beginning, thank you. I appreciate you for taking this ride with me. I would like to give a shout out to all the villagers in the Village Global Network. We are doing this thing right here. So you can catch Tea Time with Bunky on different platforms. You can catch us on the radio station. But before I get into all of that, I would like to jump into this because shout out to the DuPont Network. You can catch Bunky every Saturday at 4 p.m. on the DuPont Network and Political Tuesday on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on the DuPont Network. My guest tonight is, this is his second appearance. This is his second appearance on Tea Time with Bunky. Like I said, he is a fellow villager, Mr. David Tyrell.
Thank you for the warm and pleasant introduction. How are you doing today?
I am blessed and highly favored. How are you?
I am blessed and doing as good as God intended. So, yes.
When you said that to me, before we get into everything, I need to know, what does that mean? What?
Well, you see, because my name is an affirmation more than an acronym, I like to have these adages that go along with it to, give across the era or the air of intellect I'd like to portray. That being said, I know I have absolutely no control over what's happening. I'm just doing the best that I can. Hey, Loic, how you doing? I'm doing the best that I can, and I'm praying that God guides me. So, with that being said, as good as God intends, it's for whatever energies He's given me that day. Those are the energies I'm using to conduct myself according to what I feel is His direction. And if I misstep, forgive me, but I'm doing the best that I feel I can with those energies.
I hear you. I like that. I didn't know where you were going with that at first. I was like, what does that mean? So, Dave, like I said, this is your second appearance on Tea Time with Bunky.
Yes.
Since then, we have grown so much as a village.
Oh my gosh!
Bounds and leaps, and
we're like a metropolis now.
It's like you blink your eyes, and you're like, "What is going on?" You wake up, there's something new. So, shout out to the village with the momentum that is going on. It's
large up.
Yes. You built an incredible platform, Culcha Shock Radio, which was where I think you were the second radio station that I was on. I think you were the second one, but you're in charge of that. You have the Tyrell Effect, Exposure to the North, Candid Conversations, Me and the Boys Wrestling. You are a busy man, and we're going to get into that.
When you hear it from somebody else, it really does sound daunting.
I told you. I said you have a lot going on.
Wow. I'm humbled, really. I appreciate your acknowledgement of those efforts and that I endeavor. It's just, I just kind of do it. It just happens. So, when you're doing it, when you're in the mix, you know what I mean? It kind of doesn't seem as much, but when you take a step, as CUG said, I was too close to the picture. So I got to take a step back, and I guess this is my step back.
Yeah. You have a lot going on. There's so many hats. And you just posted, I'm like, how do I share this? Your, I guess, engagement. So congratulations.
Yes, thank you. The beginning of the Niagara River Lions basketball season, I'm a season ticket holder.
Tell everybody where you're from, because now you're mentioning things people don't know. Where are you from?
Okay.
A little bit about you.
I am from Welland, Ontario. I'm from St. Catharines, Ontario. I currently reside in Welland, Ontario. They're both in Niagara region. That's located in Canada, bordering Buffalo on the American side. Just to give you guys some, proximity to where I'm located. and we have a local basketball team that I'm a season ticket holder for,
Mhm.
and I'm over the top with pretty much everything I do. So I wanted to figure out how to show this woman that she was special to me, and I didn't want you just a general bended knee dinner kind of thing. And sorry for those of you who did it that way. I'm not hating. I'm just not that guy. I had
That's
to.
not you.
That's not me. I had a company called Project Overkill for a minute, and that's because we overdid everything. So, I talked to my dude Sean at the Niagara River Lions, and him and Matt and Michelle coordinated over the course of like 8 months with me, and we arranged it so that at the TV break for the third quarter of the opening game, they'd allow me to propose to her. So I did it. I did it as big as I could do it.
That's pretty
So
big. That's pretty big.
yeah, yeah, and like I mean, a good percentage of the region goes to those games too. So like it was well notarized. Like we've met like since it's happened, we've seen at least two or three people that
Mhm.
were at that game in the general public.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, it was amazing. So she said yes, just for the record.
Well,
If
I
you
hope
guys,
she did because that would have been pretty embarrassing.
oh gosh, her, you know what? The hardest, believe it or not, the hardest part was trying to get her mom and her sons there without
Uh-huh.
her knowing.
Okay. Yeah. Because they don't normally
Yeah,
go to the games.
they don't normally go to the games. At the time, we hadn't had like we talked and we had done dinner things and stuff like that, but we were just getting to know each other still. So I kind of just like I did it the traditional way. I asked her mom, rest in peace to her dad. I asked her mom, and then I got her blessing, and then I talked to the boys about it, and then yeah, went through with the whole thing.
Well, Joe, I like how you did that because I watched the video. I was like, okay, David out here in these streets doing big things on top of everything else that you have going on. Like I said, you wear so many hats, like your radio host, podcaster, you're a member,
Hmm.
big member of the Village Global Network, one of the one of us founding layers
Yeah.
of the Village Global
Yep.
Network. Um,
Yes. Yes.
how balancing all those roles? Now you're a fiance, even though y'all probably together for a long time, but that's a new title anyway, a fiance. How do
Yep.
you balance all that and stay connected to your roots?
Whew, I take time every day to meditate.
Really?
I'm yes, I'm convinced that there is a monastery. So a monastery, that's what monks are, right? There's a monastery somewhere where a monk wakes up, and because they have a vow of silence, they decide who they want to talk on their behalf, and they hit that gong, and they wake me up at 4 o'clock every morning. That's the only reason I can justify me talking so much for so many reasons. I feel like I can't like I sometimes it just keeps flowing, and it's just but that and it's a very very colorful imagination. That's how I'm going to start Culture Shock. Really, I think that's how I should start the intro to the Culture Shock show, which I'm working on
With a gong?
with the gong. Yeah,
All right.
with the
Wait,
gong.
hold on. Think about the gong. We're going to be right back.
All right,
And we're back. That was quick, right? And we're back.
that was. Hey man, it's like we didn't go anywhere.
Right. It's like we didn't go anywhere. So wow. You talked about the 4 o'clock in the morning and you mentioned the
Yeah,
monastery, the monks or whatever. And you know what? No exaggeration. I used to I remember before I was a real prayer. I
yeah.
would hear stories of God waking people up at a certain time every morning to pray. And I wanted to test that thing out, right? I wanted to
Hmm.
test. So basically I challenged God, not in a bad way.
Ooh,
No, no,
ooh.
no,
I
no, no,
know,
not,
I know,
not in a bad
I know. I hear
and
you. I hear you.
I
But
would never
mm,
challenge him like I would never, because unfortunately I'm that person. I was like, Lord, I want to see if this would really work for me. Like, would you wake me up just to pray? Like, would you? And no exaggeration, 4 o'clock every morning, I was up and could not go back to sleep. So there was times I would roll out of bed, pray, roll back into bed, and then I can go to sleep. But unless
wait, I can go back to sleep after.
Well, it takes a while. I mean, like I may be up until 6. Look, I don't got to be working till 8, so I can get another half an hour in there.
Yep.
So I don't go right back to sleep. But so that's pretty interesting. That's really
Yeah,
interesting.
your situation actually gives more foundation to mine because, like, yeah, no, I like that. There's connection to it because, like I said, and I say jokingly about the monastery and the gong and everything,
Yeah,
but like
I get it.
I like I still feel like there's a higher calling, I guess,
Right,
if you will, that
right.
like every morning, like my daughter has it now too. She just started high school and she's waking me up. She's waking up before me now because she
Okay.
has her purpose now. I think you know what I mean. And
Yeah,
so, huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
All
crazy.
right.
Look at that. We
It,
connected with that thing. So, so let's talk about first. What came first? Was it culture shock or was it um exposing the North? Like I like
it's
that expose the North thing. Like
I appreciate it. Yeah, the Explosive North came first. That actually started as Block
first
Basics
time.
Productions.
Yes. Okay.
It started as Block Basics Productions because my motto was to be the best, you must first know the basics, and I
Okay.
wanted to make sure that I had everything you needed, like the basic utilities to function, right? So I had the computer, the printer, the camera, the microphone, and whatever.
Mhm.
And then it went to like I started working with more people. Then it became Exposed the North because I find that there's a lot of talent out here, but they like to go other places to get recognized. So if we can highlight the area that some of the talent's coming from, they'll they're more likely to want to stay there. And then as I was exposing the North, I got so many culture shocks that I said, this is a perfect thing. I'm going to go with it. But I called it Culcha Shock because, um, I wanted to get my own algorithm. So it's Culcha instead
Yeah.
of Culture. And, I have a Caribbean background. So we know how to broke up the word them to sound proper. And, and, you know, so I just did that. And then I found that that was working as a brand and then we started the magazine. That's what that came after the Exposed the North thing because I found there wasn't enough outlets for all of the artists that I was working with and speaking to.
Okay.
So yeah,
So you said recognizing the talent in your area. So it's the people in Canada near you, right?
not just near me, but like I'm a little biased. I was born up here, so I'm
Mhm.
kind of trying to show why up here is good. Not to say that anywhere else is bad. And you know how it is. Sometimes people think pride in oneself is
Yeah.
anti someone else. No, pride
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
oneself is pride in oneself. So
Yes.
what I mean. I'm happy to be Canadian with Jamaican roots. I have no problem with anybody else anywhere. Don't at me because I have an opinion. That's all. That's
Yes. And and it reminds me of like Rashad and them in the studio with the Rec Boys, even though they branched out big time now. But
Mhm.
they used to and they still like a voice for the 845. That's where we are, our county, the 845. The 845. So
Okay.
it's like the same. Well, Chris isn't the 845 anymore. He's what's shaking? Hey Sean. Speaking of
What
Sean.
up?
Yeah, so
Speak of the same.
yep, it's the same thing. It's totally the same thing, but you're repping Canada.
The 905 South. That's where I'm located in what I call the 905 South because I liken it to the Midwest.
Hey,
Um, what up, Ketchrak? I liken it to the Midwest because there was a long time where like Ludacris and them boys didn't get the credentials or the clout they deserved until they blew up on another side, right? So
uh-huh.
it's like we're in between New York and Toronto, two mega cities. So what happens out here doesn't often filter outwards as much as what they're doing filters inwards. But
Right.
we got our own little pocket of sound here. We got our own little style. We got our own little niche, if you will.
Okay.
So if y'all visit it or y'all explore and check out Niagara region for what good it can do.
Okay. Explore the night. Okay. Well, kudos to you for getting that exposure out there to that group. What is this? Me and the boys wrestling. Because the first time you came on, I think you
Yes.
were just like really starting it. Because I
Yep.
remember I saw the wrestling belt. I'm like, what is that about? And
Yep.
like, well, tell people what me and the boys what is that?
That honestly is something that's my guilty pleasure, I guess you could call it.
Okay.
James Owen Brown is the mad scientist behind that. You can find me and the boys wrestling on youtube.com/at TOEZ. Check the playlist. He's got all kinds of content on there, poetry, cards, and all of that stuff. But the me and the boys wrestling thing, it started with him and a few of his friends, and he basically created them and input them into the computer game, and
Okay.
let the algorithms have them fight, let the computer fight, and see what algorithms came up with what matches. When I met up with him by season three, he told me he was looking for more characters because he had like about 15 at the time.
Hmm.
From season three to season nine, which we're currently in, we went from 15 characters to about 70 characters. Like, so there's 70 real people in the world that you will see their avatar on me and the boys wrestling. And we basically put it's where real people use digital avatars to settle their differences. So I, for example, work with one of my executive producers for the live events that I do, and
Okay.
he has a character in it too. We just had to fight I'm not sure, like Bray Wyatt and the Fiend. Those are like rest in peace Bray Wyatt. But we just had to fight them for the tag team titles in three stages of hell. They whooped our ass the first stage and we beat them gently the second and third.
O-
It's
Okay, you got because you like talking fast with this, but is this like a AI generated thing, or I mean, you're
it's
talking
we
about avatars and
yes,
is this
we
like
use
a
the
video
console.
game? Like,
Yes, we use the video game console. We use the PlayStation 5 console,
okay,
and then we use the WWE 2K23, I believe it is, that we're on right now, and then we create the characters in there, and then the characters go into, like, he makes the matches, and then he lets the computer fight. Like, so we're not controlling the fighters, we're just
okay.
letting the computer fight and do whatever it's got to do.
What is the purpose behind that?
We're men. It's fighting. Do we
No,
have to? That's the only. It's like I'll tell you. I'll tell you succinctly. I had aspirations of becoming a wrestler, and then I got into a car accident. That didn't stop me from wanting to wrestle, but this gives me an avenue to do that without all the bruising and whatnot.
it gives you a okay. So hold that thought. We'll be right back, and we're back. I don't, I don't, see, I don't want to say something and it just be wrong, and the guys come for me because I'm like, that really sounds like a guy thing. It
It
really,
is.
really, it does.
100% it's a guy thing, except for the fact that my fiance is currently the QLLW champion. So, because there's me and the girls wrestling too.
There's me and
Yeah, there's me and the girls wrestling too. We have, you see, all of the male wrestlers or superstars, if you will, that have female
okay,
counterparts. Some of
okay,
their female counterparts have agreed to get their character designed and input into the game. So now we have a mixed tag circuit.
hey, Miss Ruth. Okay,
Hey,
all
Miss
right, all
Ruth, how
right.
you doing? Yeah, so it like, because I'm all about equality. Like, there's nothing that I have in this house that the other people who live in this house don't have. We all have our own phones. We all have our own space. So this whole me and the girls thing, I love it because it shows gender equality. Like, women, I think women fight more vicious than men, personally.
Yeah, they do. They're out of control.
Oh man, oh jeez, it's hey, I won't argue.
I gotta go watch this because it sounds you're passionate about it. Like the way you talk about it, you're so passionate about this wrestling thing. Mm,
Hmm.
so this is something you've been a wrestling fan like your whole life. Then you
Oh
had to.
yeah, entire life. Yeah, I even work with the local wrestling promotion, this Canadian Wrestling Federation.
Canadian.
They they just did an event called Resolution. I designed the program for that event. Oh, actually, James and I designed the program for that event. Sorry, and we had help from the founder who gave us the pictures and the content. But
Okay.
yeah,
So you're really into this I don't know if it's technology, computer building type thing. You're really into that.
yes.
Oh, I can tell because like you're talking, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what is that? I don't know.
Ever
Okay.
since I was young, they kind of just stuck me in front of a computer. They asked me what I wanted to do. I said I don't know, but I know it's going to involve a computer.
Okay.
So I guess all the years of the different things that involve technology, I kind of learned about. Like I
Okay.
spent 20 years studying telecommunications and working in that field.
Okay. Oh,
And like, yeah. So, I kind of I see what technology can do when used well, and I'm trying to keep it in the right hands.
right.
You know what I mean? And stay in the
I
right
know what
state
you
of
mean.
mind with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it gets really crazy. Since you're into all that, have you ever thought about creating like how see I don't like saying certain people names because I don't really care for them. But like
Yeah.
have you ever thought of making like a X, you know,
Huh.
have you ever thought
Oh,
about doing something like that?
look. Let me tell you something. I have an idea that I
Uh-huh.
think the VGN would greatly benefit from.
Okay.
I just have to find a way to present it, and I want to make sure that it's secure. That's
Okay.
basically what I want to do. It's an app that I want to create, and it involves culture. It basically involves culture. There's one thing I don't see very much of in certain areas,
Uh-huh.
and this application would take you to different places based on what you were looking to experience, kind of thing.
Like a virtual reality? Like if
Um,
I like if
kind
I'm
of,
thinking of I want let's say I want to go to Hawaii, right?
yeah.
So is it like that? It'll give me a virtual experience or I don't understand.
No, along the lines of like you could research it before you went there, but
Okay.
also when you went there, it would take you to the areas that you researched, kind of
Oh,
thing.
like Big
Like,
Brother's watching you. Like
eh,
see, that's how it
basic,
seems.
basically, it's like
Okay.
it's using Big Brother to our benefit.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Not like
yeah.
how we'll have a conversation about something, then you open your phone and it's right there. Like that
No,
type of
no, it's like it would be proximity. It would be proximity oriented because you'd have to. It would show you where the experience was and give you the ability to find it, kind of thing.
Vanessa said like a tour guide.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. Ultimately, yeah,
Oh, okay. You're so
yeah.
smart.
Thank you. I'm trying to put it to good use.
Yeah. You're mad smart. Let me go to the Tyrell effect.
Yeah,
No, that's the one.
that's
No, that's
the
the one with the
relevant set.
artist. Okay, I'm
Yes,
trying. I'm trying to
yes,
get it. I'm
yeah,
trying
it
to
is.
get.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, how do you know who to get involved with? Because as you see, there's a lot of people out there who think they're a rapper or they're a singer. Like,
Yeah.
thank God I don't think I'm one of them. I know I can't hold a note from here to the screen.
I don't know.
So
I don't know. I heard you singing some of that music before we got live, but we'll talk
that's
about that
that's
after.
that's church. When you like in church mode, that's different. But how do you choose people that are the truth? Like you can tell, okay, there it's not a game to them. They're taking it serious and they're not wasting my time. Like, how can you tell?
I know based on like their energy, if you will. Like you can tell when someone's interested to do something. Like they're actively engaged in acquiring the information so they can do it the way it needs to be done. When they
Uh-huh.
have there's a nonchalance to them, it's like, okay, you think you're better than me, but you forget that you used to be where I am, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So I also have help from the Village Global Network as well, like
Shout out to
MJ's
the
Hip Hop Connects. Shout
yeah.
out to the Village, you know what I mean? Village Global Network, we make the network. Yes.
We make the net and we making it
Yeah. So
work.
there's that, but I just you know what, I give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm always prepared to go on live by and just freewheel it in the event that they don't show up. Because I've had that happen before. Like the thing that amazes me is I've had platinum artists sing my praises, and I've had people that I've shaken hands with
Uh-huh.
not show up.
How you know what it is, David? You know what I'm noticing?
But
It's like some people, they don't take us serious. See, they don't understand. They don't understand that, okay, we may not have 1 million followers or subscribers, but our reach, because we're such a strong village, our reach is great. And they don't get
hmm
that. And
hmm
I think our shows are more intimate, and you would think it would allow them to be more free and be themselves. But no, some people, they don't take us serious. And that's what I've come to believe.
I agree, and it's unfortunate because we sat in the dock for so long. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I myself, before I got to okay, so if we're gonna say it how it is, I
Okay.
started podcasting 9 years ago, and
Okay.
now my podcast is on TV.
Right.
It's a lot of these people expect that to happen overnight,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And,
Yeah.
and like it's possible, but just not likely. You have to have like it's taken what 40 of us to structure this village, 40, 45 of us
I don't
to
even know.
structure what we have right now, and we're still
Right.
building.
And we're still building. And it's great. Like I haven't been doing it for 9 years. I've been doing it 3.5, right?
hmm
And in this 3.5, it's been crazy, a good crazy. So
hmm
when I invite people on, to come and have a conversation, the goal is to not lose what I started. And people, I'll get right back to that. We'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. Welcome back. So, I want people to realize, even though, we're growing, enjoy
hmm
the intimacy of the conversation. It's
hmm
still, at the end of the day, me and you. Okay, true. We're on television network now. We're heard on
Yep.
the radio throughout the world. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
So we're big, but people just see the small. So I'm like, you better appreciate us now while we're here presenting this opportunity to you.
There's
Do I?
there's gonna be There's gonna be a time, like I said, like I was saying before the break. We sat in the dock for so long. We let them know what we were gonna do.
Mhm.
Then we started doing it.
Yeah,
Now it's being done with such efficacy that they want more of what we're doing.
yeah,
Now, before we started all of this, we had more time to talk to individuals and go through stuff. Now it's like if you're not talking business, if you're not in this lane, I can't swerve. You know what I mean? Like I have to stay focused forward. I can't look behind me for too long because I might trip over what I'm not seeing in front
yeah.
of me. So
That's
I
true.
mean, I commend everyone who's doing their thing. I hope everyone keeps doing their thing.
Yeah.
Um, I want to dive into the fact that the Wizard of Odd thing. I gotta pop these eyes on because I'm practicing for Haunt Manor.
Okay, now I was gonna tell you about them eyes, right? You sent you sent me your intro video,
Yeah,
and it freaked me out. I'm not even gonna
really.
lie. I was like, what is going on with, because my mind just be going. You
Yeah,
see, I'm everywhere. My mind, I
yeah.
was like, what's going on with his eyes? Why does he have those things in his eyes? You know,
I'll tell
what
you
is that
because
about?
this is our second year working at Haunt Manor.
And tell people what that is.
Haunt Manor is Canada's largest haunted attraction that's in Niagara Falls on Lundy's Lane. Um, it is honestly, it's one of the best experiences I've been able to share with my family unit. We last year we were on the wagon ride. This year I'm on the wagon ride again. Lady Strange, my fiance, is gonna be in the barn, and it's really about like just diving into experiencing your own fears.
I was gonna
Like
say your
fear
nightmare.
isn't yeah, it's an experience though, and
Uh-huh,
the more you have an understanding of what causes your fear,
uh-huh.
the less scared you actually are. But if you don't know what scares you, anything can scare you.
That's me.
This
Everything scares me.
It's you know what? I didn't like certain horror movies. I didn't really grow up in that kind of mentality. My daughter loves it. She's reading it. She's got all of those gory books. She's got the liquid latex, the blood, all of that stuff. But me, I'm just like, I just went there because my friend told me about it. We went as a family, and I was just naturally good at what they wanted me to do.
Uh-huh.
And I personally thought, okay, I wasn't sure what to think because, like I said, I growing up was scared of that stuff.
Hmm.
So I just kind of tapped into my fears and used that to scare other peers. It's pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
Can you tell what? Can you mention what your costume is going to be? Because I'm trying to figure out what's going on with these eyes. Like what?
Well, my costume it stays the same. Um, I can say that I'm bloodied. I can say that, but it's the face paint that I think like shout outs to the cosmeticians and all of that doing their thing. The wardrobe lovely, you know what I mean. But the time they take to paint my face and the research they do into the shamans and things like that to make me look the way I do,
Uh-huh.
it's incredible. Like I like we
It
feel
sounds.
so loved. Oh
It's.
yeah. It
I gotta see a picture. Once you after you do it, I gotta see a picture.
okay.
Once you do
Actually,
it.
here, if you go to magazine.sharetheshock.ca/magazine, that's magazine.sharetheshock.ca/magazine. I believe it's I want to say like page 8 or 9. You can see a picture of me in my
Of you.
last year's costume.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay. So now let's get on this candid conversation. Is that what we were talking about last time when you was talking about the politics in Canada? Is that
Yes, yes,
that's the
that's what it
candid
was.
conversation? Well, before we
Yeah.
talk about the elections and everything that the political life in Canada, what do y'all think of us? What I just want to know, what do you Canadians think of us Americans right now? What's
I
going
mean,
on?
like it's starting to seem more like reality television than a political election. I'm telling you, like when you got people talking about people eating dogs and cats and stuff like that, and there's unfounded comments being made. Like
Oh
they have
God.
a teleprompter for a reason. Why are you going off script for so long? Like
Off
what?
binge. I mean, totally like losing it. And
It's
yeah, I
not
don't know what you guys see over there. If you guys see everything that's going on over here, but it's really insane. You're right. It's a total reality of a bad. It's a bad, terrifying reality show. That's what it is. That's what it feels
even
like. Like that.
like
That's,
don't don't get me wrong. As a business person, if I were able to bankrupt my company 3 times and come back and still have millions,
no, it was
sit me
seven.
out with
It
a.
was seven. It was seven.
See what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
that's
it was
even worse. That's
yeah.
even worse. That's a business. So like you got to look at that and say, okay, if he's done that to his business and this country is a business, what's
It's
he
a
gonna do to
business.
us?
And see, you're not even from here, and you get it. I don't know why they. I'm like, why don't they? Why don't they get it? I just.
Because they're into the hype. They're bored and they're entertained. That's where he's winning. They're like yes, policy, policy, policy. But woman, you need to let that woman know she needs to get a little bit more entertaining because that's what's winning. It's the
But
entertainment.
but the sad part about it is like that's so sad and disturbing to me that
It
people are
is.
watching this game and they're
Yep.
not looking behind it and saying, okay, this is going to affect your whole life, your grandchildren's life, your great
Yep.
grandchildren's life. They're not looking at that. Like you guys don't have a Project 2025 in Canada, do you? I need to move to
So,
Canada.
look, that's affecting here already. That's affecting here already. And I said, no oligarchy shall dictate my life. So if we gonna fight, we gonna fight.
See, David, I'm a wreck. I don't. You probably notice it. Like if you catch like a quick glimpse of one of the politicals, you're like, yeah, Bunk is becoming unhinged. Like it is stressing me out. And I felt that with you, kind of, but not nothing to this degree, of course. But when you
Mhm.
talk about the things that you've done in Canada, I remember you talking about going to one of the, is it a meeting, like the big room?
Uh,
You went
yeah,
to the
Congress, not Congress, Legislative Assembly. No, I was there when they raised the RGB flag at City Hall.
mhm,
I've been on the phone with the Office of the Premier for the last 15 years, every week, not just once a month, not just once every now and again. Every single week, these people hear from me, and in order to get to where you're going, they have to know what you're trying to do, and you have to
mhm.
let them know they can't stop you from doing it. So,
Wait,
like,
hold on, they can't stop. And this is my
okay,
final break. And we're back. Okay, so they can't stop you from what you're trying to do.
no, they can't. And if you continue to persist, if you persist, that's what gets you. You can't just one time send an email. You have to send the email, then you have to follow up on the email, then you got to send another email, and you got to put the pressure on them. And if that doesn't,
Mhm,
there's so many ways. I need to write a book on vigilantism. That's what I need to do because I'm a business vigilante to a degree. Because I understand the contractual responsibility of the organization and hold them accountable for it.
mhm.
And there's a
Now,
lot of people. Go ahead.
now I was going to ask you, is it scary? Was it scary when you first started speaking out? Was it scary?
Oh, oh man, it was. They tried to scare me out of it. They put me in jail for a weekend
Real lock?
because yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, they put me in for a weekend because um I called an office. They misquoted me, and then they basically not they misrepresented the situation, and I just ended up in those complications. But it was just messed up for me to know that I called and asked for help, and their
Mhm.
version of help was incarceration. Yeah,
That's crazy.
I argued my way out from behind bars. They didn't want me to have a cell. Like to this day, I'm not supposed to have a cell phone according to them. They wanted a 20-year ban on my cell phone usage.
Yo, that's bananas. How do they have a cell phone? That makes no sense. So, but they don't think that there's like house phone lines. They don't think there's another way for you to call them and get. That's crazy.
That was bonkers. It was bananas because I think it was because they didn't want me in public having the conversations I was having because it was changing the public opinion.
Well, okay, if you don't have a phone, somebody close to you gonna have a phone. So it
And I'm
doesn't
gonna
have to
use
be,
that
huh?
and I'm gonna use that phone to
Yeah,
speak my message.
yes,
So
that's what I don't understand. I'm like, that's crazy to ban you to. Oh, he's not allowed to have a cell phone, so he'll stop talking. What?
yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
y'all got some craziness going on there
Oh yeah,
too.
oh yeah.
But you actually spent a whole weekend in jail because you voiced you did
I
what you
voiced
said.
my I did I voiced my concerns about the situation. They did not appreciate it, and then they incarcerated me. It was funny. Even when I went in, it's a funny story because like when I went in, they could tell that I didn't belong there. You know what I mean? It wasn't. They could tell. They looked at me like, "What are you?" Okay. So then one guy, you know, how there's not raising, but hazing. So the one guy was like, "Okay, you know what? The new guys are gonna have to fight somebody. You're gonna have to pick someone to fight." I said, "Okay." So when they pointed me out to the guy who I was gonna fight, I walked over to him. I went to shake his hand.
Uh-huh.
I said my name is David. Apparently, I got to fight you. He looked at me like, "You expect me to fight you now after you just introduced yourself to me, like we're friends and shit?"
Oh, so you did it wrong. You wasn't supposed to do that.
I don't know. I've never been here before. How am I supposed to know what the protocol is?
Right. Yeah, but at least you went and now you know what the protocol is. They tell you,
I ain't,
okay, that person, that's I don't understand. Let me
nah, man.
ask you,
Go ahead.
do you think that independent media, like we're independent. like we do.
Yes.
Do you think it plays a vital role in holding leaders accountable? I think it does.
Oh
What do you think?
man, can a tree grow without roots?
Sure can't.
Okay, we are the underground.
Yeah. Oh,
We
I
are the
like
underground.
that. We
There you
are the
go.
underground. Yes.
We are the underground. We are the product. They cannot, like, we hold people accountable because we are accountable,
Right.
right? We're not trying to distract them from what's going on. We're trying to tell them what's happening.
Right.
And I think in knowing that, that's why we have these internet glitches. That's why sometimes things don't go off. And like, I walked into my mayor's office while I was talking to his boss, like his administrative authority, and I got banned from City Hall because I was telling them that I knew how they were supposed to be working, and they weren't working that way. Yeah.
That's
Um.
crazy.
Yeah, that's my life. Because I called them. I look. Someone has to keep things accountable.
Yes.
Somebody has to. And I've
Somebody
heard
has
so
to.
many. And this is gonna sound. I don't want it to sound more inflated than it is. But I've heard so many times. There's no more Martins. There's no more Malcolms. Well, there is a David. That's all I'm
Yes.
saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
And
So,
you are holding Canada accountable.
to the best of my ability.
Right. And that's the way it should be. Like I do my little thing over here. It's not much, but I tell you what, they don't appreciate it because it's making people look at things differently. Am I making a
Mm.
difference? I don't know. I feel like I'm not, but apparently I am.
You
You
are
know,
100%.
um,
Don't you ever discredit yourself like that
yeah,
again.
okay, I won't do that. I won't.
Okay.
And it all started out with just having an opinion and not liking what was going on and not liking the way I'm seeing not even myself because it's impacting me, but not like some people. Some people got it worse, and so I don't like
Yes.
to see people being treated wrong for no reason.
Same, same. It's like if you earned it, then hold it. You know what I mean? But
Right,
don't like don't bully the elderly. Don't
right,
manipulate a child.
right,
If you from 20 to like I'd say about 55, 60, you should be able to fend for yourself. But if you
right,
can't and we see injustice, I'll speak to it. But like there's too many people taking advantage of the wrong people. Like
right.
you have the crabs in the bucket and you don't realize that the
Oh,
bucket's being controlled by the corporation and they have enough for all of the crabs to have their own thing. Like, don't even get me started on Hyundai.
that
$33 trillion. This one company has enough money to give $1,000 to everybody in the world and still maintain its $33 trillion profit.
and
Yeah,
and I say that to myself sometime all the time. I'm like, you know what, Bunk? Maybe that's why you haven't won the lotto. My son said it to me too. They're like, because Ma, you'll give it all away. Probably.
100%.
Probably. Like,
Most of the reason I make money is to give it away.
you know,
I know I can make it. I can make it back. You know what I
like what
mean?
is so wrong with helping your neighbor? Like, I don't understand.
No,
You
man.
know,
I
I don't
live it.
understand.
My neighbor's right on the left and right. Actually, my whole front row. There's 7 houses on the front line,
Uh-huh.
and two of the houses don't really mess with us, but they don't really mess with us in the sense of
Okay.
they're not at our Friday evening like parties that we have when we all gather from one house and go to like we at one of three houses, but all
Uh-huh.
of the units converge into one house. So the three units converge on the one house and we do our thing.
Uh-huh.
And that but we still like, if they're outside, we'll have pleasant conversation and it's all good. We all do our fronts so that it looks according to the season. We all
Right.
get along, you know what I mean? And
Right.
it's not hard to get along because everybody wants the same thing, to live a good life.
Right. So you know what? The thing is, you know what this TV thing is about right now.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna have to have you come back.
Anytime.
Um, yeah, I definitely have to have you come back because I love talking to you. You're fun. You're a fun conversation. You really, you really
I'm
are.
humbled and appreciative. Thank you.
You are. I love talking to you. It's so much fun. I have to get more VGN people around because I really want to get to know them. Like you'll
Yeah.
know who is who. You know who I can talk to, and you're a fun conversation. You're a fun
I
conversation.
appreciate it.
So I wish you much luck with your Halloween thing, and may you go out there and scare as many people that want to be scared.
Thank
That's
you.
not
And
me.
may the good you do find you.
Thank you. And I was going to tell you, continued blessings on all of your ventures. You got a lot going on. You have a lot going on. Make
Thank
sure you
you.
take
Thank
some
you.
time in that and rest. Okay, get
All
rest.
right, I will.
Okay, so
Definitely.
everybody, listen. You can catch me on your platforms. We were told not to mention shows or whatever. So, but I appreciate you all. Tell a friend about Tea Time with Bunky. Like, share, follow, and subscribe. So you all have a wonderful night. I appreciate you. Bye bye.